Welcome back to Pop Tab, keeping tabs on all your pop culture news. I'm your host, Matthew Yapp, and joining me today is
Tyler Wheatley
and
Sunny King.
You're new. I'm excited about it.
I'm also very excited.
I'm glad. And Tyler, you are here so often.
It's ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous. I'm so tired of it, but he won't stop showing up to the studio.
This is how I'm slowly making myself co-host.
No. But moving to our first topic real quickly so he can't finish his thought. Shut up and dribble. Such a harsh statement from such a harsh woman. I mean, I'm indifferent. I'm totally unbiased in this. So, Laura Ingraham recently attacked LeBron James for his criticisms over Donald Trump, who else, while he was being interviewed. He basically just kind of very politely, actually, like fairly politely, pointed out that he felt that Donald Trump, as having the top job in the country, doesn't really understand the citizens. And he just kind of made it clear that he didn't think he was the proper person for this position, which caused Laura Ingraham to go on and say that he was barely intelligible, he was ungrammatical, and that he should shut up and dribble, and we shouldn't pay attention to someone who gets paid so much money to just dribble a basketball, as she phrased it. And also stating that he is a prime example of what happens when you drop out of high school a year early to join the NBA. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my first thought of
Crikey.
that. Just like reading over this and listening to it, I was like, what? Like, first off, he did finish high school.
He did!
So you can't just blatantly start yelling whatever you want on air.
I was shocked. Fox News reporter not getting their facts straight. Like,
Yeah.
What a
just kind of
surprise.
saying things to get their narrative forced. I would never.
Never. Not in a million years. Clickbait isn't
Again,
real.
if
Doesn't
Fox
exist.
News does okay, I'm totally unbiased, I swear. Fox News is okay sometimes, but Laura Ingraham not so much.
Yeah, no, they have their moments. Her,
fair.
as a reporter, apparently, she has a lot of moments. This is not her first slip-up with this kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
She has kind of rephrased her shut up and do whatever you do situation, which, in my opinion, extremely unprofessional. I don't care if you did write a book about it. This is called Shut
Yeah.
Up and Sing. You can't just tell someone, just shut up and go do your job. Well, why don't you just shut up and go report then?
Which, I mean, to be fair, is kind of what she's doing. Is like, her job is political commentary, so like,
True.
in her mind at least, it is a bit more her place to have statements.
Yes, but like in my opinion, like just because he dribbles a basketball doesn't mean that he doesn't have the responsibility to be an informed American citizen. I mean, no matter your profession, one, you have a right to your opinion. Two, you have a right to say that opinion.
Yeah.
And three, you have the right to be informed. And if you do the research, it doesn't matter who you are or what you do.
Right, like, I'm a cashier, and here I am every week refusing to shut up. Like, no matter how bad you guys want me to, it's not happening. But even if I didn't have, like, do journalism stuff, like, through college, and even if that's not what I plan to go into, like, I still think anyone kind of, like, deserves an opinion. Like, you live in the country, you should be able to comment on it. Like, whether you're, like, a politician or, like, a mechanic, like, everyone is affected the same way, so why would you not be able to?
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. And she's just saying, like, just because he's an athlete, he can't state his opinion. Well, since he's an athlete, he's viewed by millions of people.
Absolutely.
And he even stated, I'm speaking out so the youth of America that does look up to me can also see other sides. They can see other points of view and other opinions. Now, whether or not they agree with him is another story.
He did come out and just kind of like straight up, in reference to the shut up and dribble thing, he said, I will absolutely not do that. I mean a lot to a lot of people who are in hard situations who look up to me, so like, it's kind of my responsibility to do so and to speak out against these issues. So do you guys think that as a celebrity, because LeBron James thinks to think though, as a celebrity, it is your responsibility, should you have to speak out against political issues?
I think if it is absolutely necessary, if it's a situation maybe that you are targeted in, like in this instance, he obviously was targeted after just an interview or during the podcast with, was it Carrie Champion?
Yes.
Then, yeah, he has his own freedom to speak out and defend himself, to be like, okay, yeah, I can give my own opinions. Maybe just blatantly throwing them out everywhere isn't exactly professional, because that's what I want to base it all back to, is like, it just seems like Ingram wasn't professional in this instance, and she is
Yes.
supposed to be, as a reporter that is giving us, or supposed to give us facts, even though maybe sometimes that slips up. It can be part of news. Things can change, but that was just a blatant lie. But this needs to be a matter of being professional, and I didn't see at any point LeBron James being unprofessional.
No.
He even came back in a professional manner after these comments and was like, I'm going to embrace this and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Tyler. To elaborate a little bit further on it, yes, I do think you should speak out if you're targeted. But also, if you know about the situation, if you know enough about it, you shouldn't just speak out if you don't know the facts about it. If it affects
Lena
you,
Dunham, I'm just saying, I hate Lena Dunham.
If it affects you, if it affects people you care about, then yes, totally speak up on it. Or if it's something that you've seen in your life, like just constantly and have experienced.
Yeah.
So yes, if you're targeted, yes, if you know the facts behind it, if you do the research, but if you don't know anything behind it, or if it doesn't affect you, I mean, you can be an ally to those people and maybe use your platform to raise awareness about it, but make sure everything you're saying has been researched and is factual.
Yeah, I think absolutely the problem we run into is a lot of celebrities like to speak out on things that they know like enough about, like they have like an idea about them. I think as a celebrity, it's kind of your responsibility to get informed on subjects and to speak out about them. I think we don't live in a world where you can just be a celebrity anymore. Every celebrity just being out in the open and having a public opinion is a political stance on its own.
Yes.
Down to like Taylor Swift, who I kind of felt bad for her when the whole Me Too movement was going on. She didn't really ever say anything about it, and people criticized her for that. Not because she supported anyone, or not because she didn't support anyone. She just didn't have an opinion on that. And because of the climate we live in, you now have to have an opinion on things, and that might be harsh, but I believe that too. I think
I can see it.
if you don't speak out against things and you have such a public platform and so many people look up to you and think your opinion is correct, I think rather you agree with me or whoever, I think everyone should state their opinion when you have that public platform. That being said, you really should make sure whatever you're speaking out for, you're informed on, because if not, you will hurt your platform. Lena Dunham. She amazes me. Genuinely, every platform and every movement she gets a part of, she ruins it. Like, she does.
Imagine just being a professional, just like screwing up a whole movement.
She like, I remember she was like, for a hot second, was a really big part of like one of the feminist movements of the past. I can't remember exactly what one she spoke out for. But then she made a bunch of really weird racist comments. And then she was the one who was like, you know, when speaking about abortion rights, I've never had an abortion, but I wish I had. Like, I really wish I've had an abortion so I could just know what that's like. And like, people are like, Lena.
Even if you support it, that's a little.
I don't think
that's still a traumatic experience.
Yeah, I don't think
no matter
anyone
what.
who's ever like had an abortion has been like, I feel really good about that. I'm glad.
I don't think they're just like, yeah, so I also have a buy one, get one free coupon. Like, I'll take another.
Like, I want more. No, and so
No.
celebrities like Lena Dunham who come out uninformed end up hurting a lot more than they ever help. It's unfortunate. I hate Lena Dunham. But back to shut up and dribble. So LeBron James and Laura Ingraham, what she had an issue with him in the ungrammatical, barely intelligible thing is he was speaking in the way LeBron James speaks, which is he uses a lot of likes, and you know, he uses what could be described as ebonics, which some people defended Laura Ingraham, saying that, you know, how are you supposed to understand him if he's going to have intelligent opinions like this? He has to sound intelligent. But some people on the other side said that calling him unintelligible and criticizing him for using ebonics is racist in itself. Which side do you fall on that?
Oh God, I have to pick a side, black and white.
No,
Can I go gray?
You can go.
area.
Nah, on Pop Tabs we only go in absolutes.
Perfect, just like my household. No, I didn't think he sounded unintelligible or even in a sense like ungrammatical. I was, you know, I listened through it a little bit just to kind of see what he had said throughout the whole thing. I understood him just fine, and I didn't think he sounded unintelligent because he spoke in a way that may or may not have used ebonics. You know, I'm not like a professional in ebonics, so I can't say like, yeah, he used a bunch of them, or he used it the whole conversation. No, I can't. You know, I can't say that. I thought he sounded fine, though. I don't expect him to be a political expert. He is a celebrity that does get paid to play basketball, but he also has opinions, being someone that is in this country, that is affected by others' decisions. He even pointed out in part of the interview that, like, growing up being African American in America, he didn't grow up with all of this money, so like he did struggle. He did see all these things and was affected by
Which
this.
that's where a lot of people come in with the racist aspect, that they say that this is just the way that like a lot of black people are raised and learn to speak, so it's racist too.
That could just be part of how he was raised. He's just comfortable talking like that. I don't think it makes him any less unintelligent. That's just part of how he talks. I talk like this.
So do you find it racist?
I don't know if it's necessarily racist to call him out that he didn't maybe speak the way that she wanted. I don't expect him to talk like a white person. Like, you know, I mean, that's just, to be blunt about it, I don't expect him to just prim and proper, like, you know, over in England. Like, I don't expect him to speak like that.
I expect LeBron James to speak with a full English accent every time.
That is what I want from now on. No, I thought he sounded fine. Maybe calling it racist is a bit too far, since she was just saying maybe I couldn't understand him. Maybe she legitimately couldn't. That could just be part of it. Maybe she's just targeting him.
I
Who's
think
to say?
Stretching it, but
Yes, I agree full-heartedly with that. Because just because you don't understand someone doesn't mean that they're unintelligent. That's a very
maybe you're the problem.
that's just a very big point. And for the second point of calling it racist, that's a very hard area because I'm not a person of color.
Absolutely.
Racism is not a thing that affects me every day. It's not really I'm an ally to people of color, but it's not really my place to be like, oh, this is racist to them. So like, it's a very gray area because if you call things racist, if you throw around a term that is so strong, it takes away the meaning of it.
Yes.
And it's a very serious thing. So, I mean, is it? I'm not exactly sure, but it could be. She could, like Tyler said, could be targeting him, or maybe she just didn't understand him.
Yeah. There's nothing in me that even slightly believes that Laura Ingraham could not understand LeBron James. Like you said, we all watched the video. He uses like quite a few times, and grammatically, yeah, it's a little out there, but like no, there was nothing about it that was just like, what does he mean? He was pretty clear. Like, so I think that she was absolutely just trying to be insulting and dismissive when she said that he was unintelligible. So, do I find it racist? Not so much. Like you, I'm white. So I went and spoke with a lot of my friends who are people of color and asked them what their opinions on it. And I did get a mixed bag. It was, some people just said like, yeah, this is how black people talk, and to just completely dismiss that as ungrammatical and barely intelligible is insulting. And so some people did. And then a lot of them said no. One of my favorite quotes is, no, I think she's an ignorant, rich white bitch. So like, fair, but, and so I do think that maybe that also comes from her background. Laura Ingraham has been a wealthy woman most of her life, and so maybe her background is like, she's only raised around these things. She's raised to believe this is unintelligent. Like, when people talk like that, it is unintelligent. I don't know if I'd go so far personally to call it racist. I would absolutely call it elitist. I think whenever you take somebody and expect them to, who has lived a very different life than you, and expect them to do anything on the same level as you, I think is just unreasonable, and it's ignorant, and I find it ignorant.
Yeah.
And so race is not so much. Definitely annoying. Like, Laura, you're not my favorite person right now, but yeah. So, any closing thoughts on that, kids?
I would like her to be a little more professional. I'm gonna bring it back to that.
Yeah.
Grab your briefcase, Laura, because it's time to be professional. be a big girl.
Laura Ingraham needs a briefcase, is what we've learned today.
Briefcase and less elitist thoughts. Let's give her those notes.
Just be respectful to other people.
I think she's rude. She comes across kind of fake, and you know what else is fake? It's deepfakes. It's a technology thing. I'm transitioning. I like that one. That was a fun one for me. So deepfakes, they're a thing.
They are.
I'm getting such a look of disapproval from the studio. It hurts. Deepfakes, essentially it's a new form of AI where within video you can take a celebrity's face and match it up with someone who looks like decently enough like that person, and you can just make the celebrity, or it doesn't have to be a celebrity, you can make anyone look like they are in this video. It's like full-on face swap. It's really impressive. What's not as impressive is because of the internet, people are using it for evil. What is evil, you ask? Porn. Well, porn itself is not evil. Some people are taking a celebrity's face and just kind of sticking it on to people in porn, making it appear as if they fit into that. So obviously the deepfake issue was very quickly addressed by quite a few people. And it's now banned on Pornhub because of consent laws is mostly what it is. But what can't be banned yet is it's getting into politics, which we'll touch more on that soon. But what do you guys think on it being used for porn and it being banned in porn?
There were statements from other top dogs of the adult film industry or some corporations that were saying this isn't a new thing.
No, it's not at all.
There have been many instances where someone has kind of face swapped celebrities to make it look like it. It's just it's whether or not you have the skills in Photoshop or not. This is way more advanced because this can take thousands of images, compose them, and get every kind of facial reaction you can.
And it's easy. There's an app that can do it in 3 minutes.
Yeah, someone's already released an app and it had over 100,000 downloads in less than a week. So I was like, oh my Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely horrible because they're not getting consent, obviously, because they are faking a video. I would say the one aspect of it right now is it's not targeting normal people. So
for now, yeah.
For now, at this point, it's kind of a harmless thing, even though it still can be a little defamation towards their reputation, towards towards the famous individual, the celebrity. But they can also easily come back and say, no, I haven't done this. And a lot of people do look up to them, so they're going to believe them.
Yeah. Because obviously, if someone's coming out and being deep fake of whoever, you'll know it is. But Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones, hers was initially released, and just no one said it was fake. People said that they had leaked a sex tape of Sophie Turner until someone went through with tech stuff and was like, no, this is how you can tell it's fake. And so, it's not hurting anyone's reputation when you know, but it can very easily hurt someone's reputation when you don't.
Yeah. It can easily be a case of defamation for sure. Mm-hmm. I think it's very creepy because imagine being that celebrity.
Yeah.
Have that empathy. Imagine being I never did that. I never said that. And in one of the articles I read about this was that it could be used for blackmail potentially. Sophie's wasn't, listed as fake.
Yeah.
And so, what if people actually did believe that it was real? What if nobody came out and said that's fake? That can be used against her.
Yeah.
And so, it can be actually a very dangerous concept because, like you said, Tyler, it's not you now, but with today's technology, it's growing so vastly, so quickly that it could be.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's not a new concept. What's new is how easily attainable it is, because like we said, there's just an app for it, and how realistic they've made it into.
Yes. Yeah.
Because also, photoshopping celebrities onto things, nothing new at all. But a photoshopped face with a bad blend job on the neckline, that's pretty obvious. But a video where they're moving and talking and making sound, it's just so terrifyingly realistic that I have a lot of sympathy for those celebrities, because there's nothing you can do. Unfortunately, with the internet, there's no way we can get rid of it. Even Pornhub, who banned it, which good for you, Pornhub, thank you. There's still so many videos out there because they have so many video submissions a day. They can't keep up with that.
Yeah.
And as soon as one's taken down, it's going to get re-uploaded under another title. It's just impossible.
Even if they get all removed from Pornhub, it could just go to another site.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. How are you going to purge it from the internet?
I'll say Reddit, they had a subreddit for it, and they got rid of the subreddit, but then the videos kept popping up in other subreddits. You can ban the videos and you can get rid of a subreddit, but the videos, whoever had them still has them. It's never going to go away.
Yeah.
And so I do have quite a bit of sympathy for the celebrities themselves. That being said, do you think it should be illegal using deepfakes? Because on the one hand, yes, you don't have their consent and all this jazz, but the people have been doing drawings and Photoshop and all these things for so long. So where is the line? Why are these things allowed and these things not?
I think a drawing, in a sense, could be like fan art. I mean, there's a very, there's some low-grade stuff that's a little sketchy, obviously. This is, way over the line of that, though. Yes, you can draw something, you can Photoshop something, and a lot of times you can be like, okay, whatever, that's fake. Or even if it's a good Photoshop, you can be like, okay, that's just a picture. We can keep it at that. We can take a picture down.
Yes.
Someone taking thousands of images and then composing a very realistic video is way over that line. So I think that it should be illegal. Like you said, it does violate the whole consent laws. And it's way over just a normal drawing or something being photoshopped. There's effort put into this, even if now it can be done on an app. Someone made a lot of effort to implement it into an app.
There's effort put into the drawings in Photoshop as well, though.
There's a lot of effort put into those, though. Someone may just like a celebrity and wants to do art of them, whether it's explicit or not, is up to them. That's something else. Videos seem to go way more viral.
That's true.
So I think it should be illegal. I don't agree with this at all.
Yes, it should definitely be illegal. The reason being is with drawings and Photoshop, there's easy ways to determine whether it is real or fake. It's a little more sketchy. It does violate laws that are already put in place, consent laws, and because it's so hard to tell the difference whether it's real or not, it's even though they're public figures, and yes, they do kind of consent to be at the will of the public, it's still hurting their image. It's still defaming them.
Yeah.
It's still hurting what they've worked so hard for. So I think the impact of this could be a heavier impact than just a drawing or maybe a Photoshop clickbaity photo of them, So I do agree. I think it should be illegal.
See, I run into a real issue here where on the one hand, I can see how it would absolutely fall under defamation laws because you absolutely know that it's fake, and that's one of the big things with defamation. You have to know. So these people know it's fake. They know they're spreading something about someone that's not. But on the other hand, especially when they list it as a deep fake, I mean, you can't make it's not art, but they'll argue that it's art. You can't make art legal.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why you're allowed to draw Kate McKinnon or doing whatever gross things you want her to do. You can't ban those things. And so in terms of legality, I think we're at a real weird gray point. Because in my mind, yes, I agree with both of you that video is just kind of worse in general. It spreads more, especially with how realistic these look. It's very creepy. But I can't, in my mind, I don't think we have a right to make it illegal. I'd love us to, but I don't think we have a right to. But it gets worse, guys.
It does.
Because what's bad? Forcing celebrities' likeness into porn, because that's really wrong morally. Don't do that, guys. I'm looking at you. Don't do it. But what's even worse? Potentially ruining someone's entire political career or sending us into some weird nuclear war with Korea because you wanted to make a deep fake. Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Please don't. So, because of, once again, the internet, people were like, whoa, porn's cool, but you know what I could do even more destructively? I can make Donald Trump look like he's saying he's going to war with North Korea. And boy, howdy, did they do it. One of the first articles I found when I was looking this up is people made one of Donald Trump, and it's so realistic. It looks like he is giving his presentation, especially because you can just take a video of him giving a speech and then Photoshop his face back onto his own face, and just it fits perfectly. It's so scary. It's terrifying.
It is. This is so messed up.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders was another one. There was deep fake of him saying racial slurs, which obviously Bernie Sanders would never do. But if you can get someone who has a decent enough voice to be like Bernie Sanders and put that with a deep fake and get him and his likeness, you can make anything reality because life's terrifying. and we're all gonna die.
Leave Grandpa Bernie alone. I'm just gonna say that on the record.
So,
Grandpa Bernie did nothing wrong.
kind of back in the legality aspect, what do you think, is this one, again, do you guys think that should be illegal? Is this causing mass panic? What are your opinions on it?
Okay, the porn one seems like just shoved under the rug. This can be like a thing where you'd be like, well, that kind of sucks.
That sucks.
Possibly resulting in nuclear war because you're faking political figures saying things that they clearly didn't say.
Yes.
Definitely should be illegal. That needs to completely be off the table. You can't even remotely come close to that. You want to make him say something funny like, haha, yeah, that was, he didn't really say that, but that was goofy. Sure, fine, go for it. But the internet is an evil place and there are some very horrible people all over it.
You want to make a video of Donald Trump saying he's resigning as president of the United States? I'll watch it 1,000,000 times just for fantasy's sake.
Just haha, real funny. You're so funny, Mark, kind of situation. Like, we'll just roll with it, it'll be fine.
Tyler, stop talking. You made a room reference, and I'm done with you.
It's
Sonny,
the room, it's not room.
I
it's
don't
the
want to
room.
hear about it. Sonny, what's your opinion?
It's fine. I won't make a room reference.
Thank you.
It's the room.
So yeah, definitely. That needs to be illegal because I don't want to wake up one day and be like, hey, we're gonna have like a nuclear war because somebody made a video on the internet.
I hope that becomes like a Reddit thread, like a deep fakes of us causing nuclear war.
Have the memes gone too far?
Yes.
So we gotta stop that because like we're going on the potential of hurting just one person's livelihood, character to
Reputation to wars.
yeah, one person to millions, the world potentially. So it's kind of like, hey, calm down and like let's not.
No, I agree thoroughly with both of you. But something that a lot of people have brought up is that this is just going to contribute to the fake news war we're in. I hate saying it, but that right now we kind of already have this like stigmatized fear of like, I don't know what's real anymore because everyone reports different stuff. And even though we have him on video saying that he just did this, like maybe he didn't. Donald Trump has said everything he said. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I'm just putting that out there. But like we already have this kind of mass panic of fake news. Can we believe the media? And so do you think that this is going to contribute to that fear?
I think it has the potential to, especially if news organizations fall for it. I know there's been a lot of complications with 4chan, unfortunately.
There really is.
Faking news organizations and
4chan's good at what they do.
4chan
Sketch
is
site,
just
but
they're,
like
they're a
It's a dark
beehive
land.
mind, and if they want to take down anything,
They
will.
can.
It's honestly terrifying. Like,
terrifying and
Watch out,
impressive.
Tumblr.
yeah, terrifying and impressive. Don't piss off 4chan. Let me just give you that
That's
much.
the thing. Tumblr will like shame you for like social justice reasons. 4chan's like, what if we took down like Swiss banks? Like,
And didn't
Yeah.
they have like a war at one point, like Tumblr versus 4chan,
yeah, I mean,
Well, Tumblr still exists, so maybe not.
which is
David Karp's dead in a dead in a basement somewhere. 4chan got it.
4chan
CEO of
got
Tumblr.
him.
That was an obscure reference. You guys got the vibe.
It's fine.
they got it.
Yeah, no, I think if the media does fall for this, that has potential to be completely terrible until we possibly figure out that we have the technology to prove it to be
Technology.
false. Then maybe we'll be fine if we can. Like,
Which that's the thing. At this point in time, right now, we can be like, oh no, you can see that the body is actually meant for this interview, or you can see that like here, you can see the face kind of glitch out a bit. Like right now, we haven't had too much to where it like continues into like a major media cycle. But it's got to be.
that's the thing with bugs and stuff, man.
They
People,
get
people
fixed.
update and people fix stuff. You think it looks bad now? It could
It
only
can
take
look
6 months
better.
to get better.
That is very true. Like, and my thing is like, not only could, like with the media, they could see it differently, but this could cause interpersonal problems as well. Because, oh, let's say, I saw Trump say this. No, I saw Trump say this. And it could just cause, there's a very big divide that we're facing right now politically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all gonna kill each other.
And I could see that maybe also being a tool in dividing us even further.
No, I do have fear. Right now, I'm not particularly worried about it, and I can see how it could turn into a fake news thing. I would, not to be like, old people don't get stuff. I'm gonna have to see old people like understanding like the concept of AI and deep fakes. That's gonna take some explaining until we get to that point. So until like major media outlets start like either messing up or start reporting on how this could be a problem, I don't see it causing too much of like mass hysteria. But hey, we could get there. We're always on the verge of death, you know.
Awesome.
You know what else we're on the verge of? The next topic. Couldn't quite think of a way just to jump into the topic, but I can say that we're transitioning. And once again, me mentioning my transitions really dampens the effect of them. It's a shame. I'm not good at what I do, but you're watching anyways, and I love you for it. Anyways, so, as most of you know, probably all of you, a couple weeks ago in Florida, there was a shooting at a high school. 17 people were dead. First off, condolences to all their families. Here's hoping that we can get some gun laws to help you out. Or not, if you don't think so, whatever. I am hopeful for change. But what's come out of that is a lot of the teenagers who were at the school and survived the shooting have started to be extremely, extremely vocal towards advocating for gun laws or just change in general. So much so, and they're so good at it, that it has caused some people to create this conspiracy. There was a very long video that was trending on YouTube for a while before YouTube took it down, plotting out how these teenagers were actually paid actors who didn't actually survive the shooting but were just there to push an anti-gun agenda. As you can still believe the conspiracy if you want, but there's quite a bit of proof disproving the theory that these are real teenagers who just want change. So what are your guys' thoughts on that whole situation?
First off, what the f***? That's my first thought on that. I don't know why they would go that far to stage an entire school shooting and then be like...
They didn't say they staged the shooting. They said that they staged the reaction and the kids were actually actors reacting to it.
How do you pull that out? What do you... You just teleport a kid from all right, it just happened, come on. No, that's not how that works. No, I think that's just possibly supporters of gun law, like the gun laws how they are now, or even wanting more lax gun laws, to just be like, oh, these are just actors.
Give a teacher a gun, we'll save everyone.
I mean,
but you won't pay for their school supplies in their classroom.
Even at
but
Ball
you'll
State,
pay for their guns.
Even at Ball State, the teachers, one of my professors has to buy his own markers for a whiteboard. We're a university, and you're trying to give public schools which also, Ball State, you should get teachers markers. I'm just throwing that out here. But you're trying to give public school teachers, we're trying to pay for guns, hopefully pay for gun training. I don't think so.
And let's be fair that this conspiracy is not new.
no.
It happens with every mass kind of tragedy, especially shootings. They'll be like, oh, this person was there. There
grievance
they are
actors.
again.
It's not a new concept. Grievance actors.
It's really,
come up a lot.
yeah, and it's very disrespectful to the people who have been traumatized by this event to assume that.
Yes.
Especially if they are out and out telling their stories.
Yeah.
So.
I'll say, Emma Gonzalez, who is the most prominent name who's come out of all this, or one of the most prominent names, I'd put her at the top. She is a huge, huge advocate for anti-gun laws right now, and she was at the school, but of course people calling her an actor, but from the trauma she went through and now becoming a public figure and doing very well with what she's doing, I agree. It's disrespectful for this young girl who's trying to be an advocate for change and people to be like, she's an actor, who cares, blah, blah, blah.
And I don't know, you guys probably have, but that viral 10-minute speech that Emma gave.
It was a great speech, very moving.
There's no way that was fake. There was so much passion that was ignited in that speech.
Yeah.
That wasn't faked.
Yeah, and also just what makes me mad is a lot of people believe it, and I was like, if you just check these kids' Instagram, you can scroll through and see them going to this high school,
right? Yeah.
But
people will try to pull anything out of thin air that they can just to try to get their side.
Yeah.
That's the problem with it, especially with this debate. Oh my God.
I would say I am of this personal belief. I have my own conspiracy theory.
Oh, no.
I think that gun conspiracy theory people, the grievance actor conspiracy people, I don't think they actually believe it. I think that they're trying to change the narrative again, where if they're like, ooh, if we're talking about that they're actors, we'll stop talking about gun laws.
Yeah.
And they did pretty well, because for the first few days, obviously reporting on gun laws, the teenagers doing this, this, and this, and then when I was scrolling through CNN and all my other articles, it was all teenagers, possibly conspiracy, grievance actors, rumor, blah, blah, blah. And so like they changed the conversation. We're not talking about gun laws anymore, now we're talking about this. And so I think that's what the origin of this is.
I can see it.
Which again, I made up a conspiracy theory for a conspiracy theory, so what does that make me?
But did you? Because your conspiracy theory was proven.
If it's correct in my head, it's correct everywhere.
Oh, no, don't have that kind of logic. Don't have that kind of logic, please, for the love of God.
So yeah, that's where I fall on that. But on the possible actors, they're not actors. On the teenagers more. They had a townhouse meeting with Marco Rubio and an NRA official, and most of that conversation went viral because once again, these kids went pretty hard on these people. One of the most notable was one of the teenagers asked Marco Rubio. He said that if you say you support us and you want change for us and all this stuff, will you agree to never take another donation for the NRA? Which, like, the crowd went wild. Marco Rubio went silent. It was super awkward. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out because it's gold.
It's a very good article too.
Which Marco Rubio didn't respond. He's like, I'm not necessarily advocating for guns, but the NRA supports me and my actions, so I will still continue to accept their donations. Which, like, fine, Marco. I don't believe in everything that they believe in, but I'll take their money. I get it. I'm actually not mad about that. That's actually a very fair political statement. Politicians take stuff from people that they don't necessarily agree with all the time. It's fair. Still.
Is it morally correct, though?
Morally correct? I mean,
but it pays the bills.
It pays the bills. It's what politics is, unfortunately.
I mean, yes, you're
Yeah,
correct.
it's not necessarily if you agree with it. It's just like, well, you give me a fat paycheck, so maybe I'll slip in a few things.
The concept is like, I'll hear your opinion more because you support me. But what happens a lot is, I'll vote for your opinion because you support me.
Exactly.
One of my favorite tweets from one of the teens was, maybe we should change the name of AR-15s to Marco Rubio because they're so easily bought. And like, savage. Which Laura Ingraham then spoke out against, because of course she is. Back to her, she's also yelling at these kids, but we're done with her.
So over
But
her.
something that I actually thought about, and some other people thought about, is do you think it's fair that we have NRA officials and real politicians defending their side of the story, and we have teenagers defending their side? Because we could very easily get other politicians to speak out against Marco Rubio and have like a conversation there, but some people are saying that maybe letting the teenagers do the talking is just kind of a way of dampening the anti-gun conversation, because people aren't going to listen to the opinion the same as of these teenagers as they would a politician.
I don't know. I feel like it might actually heighten the conversation. They were there. They experienced that. They were in a real-life danger.
Yeah.
A politician that is being paid by either side to advocate for gun control or not probably hasn't lived through a terrifying situation as that.
No.
Now, unfortunately, I don't agree with a lot of people. Marco Rubio, I do enjoy my assault rifles. I'll be
Kidding.
No, I just like guns. I grew up in the country, so shooting guns was like a family thing for me. If they ban assault rifles, that's perfectly fine. Like, that is literally a military weapon. There's other things that we can have fun with. I don't have to just shoot guns in the country, so that's A-okay.
I was like, we can have fun with the jacks, but you meant like guns, which again is your opinion. But my mind went somewhere totally different. I was like, yeah, we have like cards instead of assault rifles. Like,
It's fine. Now, there was another conversation about it that they would limit the magazine size. That is a possibility as well. And bump stocks were also one that was saying taking the guns from semi-automatic to automatic. I think that should definitely be
or
illegal.
even just more background checks.
Yes, more background checks has been something I've always advocated for, because I do support the ownership of guns. I'm not going to say that that is directly in line with the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment states that we are able to have a well-regulated militia. Not like I can have all the guns I want.
Right.
It doesn't explicitly say that. But no, more intense background checks and even psychiatric tests.
I would
Yes.
think so.
am very much an advocate for.
Yes.
See, my main problem with the Second Amendment, just for a second, is the origin of the Second Amendment was we created it in order to, if we ever needed to have a revolution, we could. We were giving the people the right to protect themselves against an oppressive government. Now, at this point in time, every Joe Blow with his assault rifle is not going to do anything against our drones and missiles. I think we've grown past a time. Yeah, I think we've grown past a time where reasonably citizens could protect themselves from an oppressive government. But that's a topic to be had. So I completely see what you're coming from. But yeah, that's where I stand. But that's not the conversation. Sorry.
Okay, so for me, like I kind of agree and disagree a little bit, but I still agree. So like, I'm not a big gun person. I've just never been a big gun person, but I respect you having your guns. Like a pistol, a rifle, sure. An AR, an automatic assault weapon, like that's a war weapon.
Yeah.
It's
for killing, it's not.
It is for killing.
Else.
And the way it kills, you don't just shoot it, it tears it apart.
Yeah.
Why do you need that for hunting? You
Yeah.
don't. And so, like Tyler said, I totally agree with you. Like, if you just want your pistols, cool, keep your guns. Yeah, man, do what you want. But we need stricter background checks. It's not okay that you can go into a gun shop and come out with an AR-15 within like 30 minutes.
I agree with you, and not to cut you off, but reeling it back to what we were going for is, do you think that using teenagers, and also especially the fact that most of this movement's done by social media rather than politicians advocating in actual law situations, do you think that's dampening the conversation?
No, I think that you were spot on. It enlightens the conversation because this is our future. These kids are going to be voters in just a couple of years. This is the upcoming generation.
Call me an 80s song, because I believe that children are our future.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, they need to be heard. And getting involved at that age, I think it broadens the conversation and invites more perspectives, so no.
I think the kids would have been nice to have as there to speak. I don't think they should have led the conversation. I think the fact that we have Marco Rubio, a respected politician and NRA official, who a lot of people respect political opinions of the NRA, there with a bunch of teenagers who very quickly people took online and they were like, they're being disrespectful, which I completely understand their anger and I agreed with most of what they were saying, but that is not the way that politics is run.
Yeah.
Like very angry, emotional speeches, they don't incite change for law. I think they would have been there to contribute to a conversation, absolutely, because these kids, their voices deserve to be heard. They have gone through a tragedy. Yes. But I don't think at this point in time that they should be the ones debating law.
Yeah,
I think the people for anti-gun deserve to have a representative there who can represent them in the same light that Marco Rubio can represent gun laws. Because at the end of the day, these are kids. They haven't gone through the same schooling. Marco Rubio's gone his whole life in politics. He knows what he's talking about. And these kids, unfortunately, they just aren't aware of the same way.
Yeah.
Because like asking someone like, his whole big point was like, I don't want you to take any more money from the NRA is a really nice thing to go viral, and it's like, ooh, big moving point. But at the end of the day, it's never gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Their demands are not unreasonable, but they're unlikely. And so I think it does hurt the conversation a bit.
I could see that.
That being said, back on the social media aspect, this whole movement has been very, very social media based because a lot of them are teenagers, and it's incited a lot of change throughout the country because of the way people receive information nowadays. Do you think this shows a change in the way that political movements are going to be in the future, even not just necessarily from teenagers, but could you see real political groups moving forward with like strategies like this?
Maybe more lobbyists, because they're not going to be inciting the direct change in our government. Our government was made to move very slow, so we don't make just like impulse decisions like, oh, the bad thing happened, law. Like, I mean, it's a good and a bad thing about it.
I like not having like impulse decisions, but at the same time I've been like, it's been so long.
Would you look at the times?
So many people are dead.
So that is a part of it. I think social media is getting stronger maybe in some political just ideologies and some kind of thought processes behind maybe some lobbyists. they can further interact with the public and make it easier. Now you don't have to call your representatives or mail them a letter. You can just kind of tweet at them with your opinion. So is it going to directly change politics? No. Indirectly, yes.
I think that it will have a bigger impact in the future forward, and it's already been growing, because it does open up that communication, a direct line of communication with people in like higher positions. So, and it's kind of like, if you get like this certain many like retweets, or if it goes viral, like you're gonna get attention from it, and it's gonna call action, or not really, maybe even action. It could call action.
That's my issue.
It could call attention.
I hate the like change competitions where like, if we get 10,000 signatures, they have to make this law. No, they don't.
No.
And that's my problem with social media as like a form of politicism, is that and activism, is that people think that if I get all these retweets and people pay attention, like it's gonna make change, when a lot of times they don't. You guys have to go vote. Like seriously, our generation doesn't vote, and you guys infuriate me. Go vote. But
you can vote on more than just the presidency.
Yeah, go vote. But please, it's more important to vote for, I'd say, your senator than your president. But that's just me.
Oh yeah, no.
But
that's true.
so I don't think that this social media thing, I don't think it'll necessarily change a lot in politics. I think it'll change the way activism works, because we've seen a lot of protests ignite from this. Even here in Ball State, we're planning a walkout. So yeah, go us. But no, personally, I don't see it making huge leaps and bounds in politics as far as lawmaking goes. But
Agreed.
Thoughts on this or anything else we've discussed today?
A lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
That's a quick,
It was a sad episode.
a quick
of
summary of this. A lot of bad stuff.
There's a lot of bad
I would
stuff.
like more professionalism. Maybe less teenagers talking directly in a debate. Maybe more representatives alongside teenagers. I think that would be fine. Deepfakes, please don't send us into nuclear war. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, for me, guys, this is my first episode, and we just talked about a lot of deep stuff.
I brought you in swinging.
So, yeah, deepfakes, please just be nice. You know, make a meme, but don't destroy the world. Two, respect people, and respect that we all talk differently sometimes, and that just respect other people's opinions and their rights to have that opinion. And lastly, as for this, respect that everyone has a voice, and that it shouldn't be the teens just leading this, but we should be helping them in having this conversation.
Absolutely. And I think that a wise man once said, "My name is Barry Allen, I'm the fastest man alive, and the Flash is the most important part of this country." So that's been Pop Tabs. I've been your host, Matthew Yapp. Joining me today was
Tyler Wheatley.
and
Sunny King.
thank you guys. I looked down at like my papers and I was like,
Here. I want a fake paper for mine.
Okay, that looks
so it looks
official.
like I'm so professional.
God, Sonny. Back to Pop Tabs, keeping tabs on all your pop culture news. Retake. Take two. I've been doing good lately. That's sad.